Hello, sixth graders. Today we are taking notes on pronouns. So this week your IXLs will have to do with pronouns. So during this video, it is super important that you are watching the video and taking notes along with me, because I promise you the notes that we take today will help you with your IXLs. So let's begin. We have a heading as always. And the heading is pronouns, because that is what we are learning about today. Pronouns. The definition of a pronoun. A pronoun is a word that takes place of one or more nouns. A pronoun is a word that takes place of one or more nouns. Nouns, the word nouns, I should say, is in the word pronouns. So we are focusing on nouns. And remember, we learned about nouns a couple weeks ago. Nouns are a person, place, thing, or idea. And pronouns take place of a noun. A pronoun keeps us from having to repeat the same noun. So I'm going to continue writing here saying that pronouns keep us from having to repeat the same noun. A pronoun is a word that takes place of one or more nouns. Pronouns keep us from having to repeat the same noun. It helps us not to repeat the same noun over and over again. So here is an example. All right, my example here is Billy is a puppy. Billy is a puppy, comma, so Billy has a lot of energy. So here's my example sentence. Billy is a puppy, so Billy has a lot of energy. Now, the whole point of pronouns is to use them so you don't have to repeat the same noun over and over again. Well, the only noun that is being repeated twice is Billy and Billy. So if I were to rewrite this sentence using a pronoun, I would say Billy is a puppy, comma, so she has a lot of energy. Billy is a puppy, so Billy has a lot of energy. Billy is a puppy, so she has a lot of energy. What we did here, sixth graders, was we took this noun here and replaced it with a pronoun, she. So that way you're not constantly saying the same noun over and over and over again. Here's one more example. Mr. Morse and Miss Radenberg Man, I need a shorter last name. Mr. Morse and Miss Vradenberg work at Longfellow. And Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg enjoy teaching together. Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg enjoy teaching together. Now, this is kind of a mouthful, sixth graders, because we say Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg at the beginning of the sentence, and then we say their names again halfway through. So it doesn't seem to flow as well. Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg enjoy teaching together. Now, what we can do is we can rephrase this with a pronoun to make it flow a little bit better. And in this case, we're actually going to be replacing two nouns. Whoa, I didn't mean to move my page there like that, or the words on the page. So, sixth graders, what I would say is, whoops, that's the highlighter. Sorry about that. So I would say Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and Mr. Morse, actually, that was my bad. I just got going there. So what I don't want to say is I don't want to repeat their names again. I don't want to repeat the same noun over and over again. So I'm going to use a pronoun instead. Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and they enjoy teaching together. Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and they enjoy teaching together. This, sixth graders, is an example of a pronoun. We replace the nouns Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg with the pronoun they. It just makes the sentence flow a little nicer. Pronouns. So, pronouns replace a noun in a sentence, so you don't have to keep repeating the same noun over and over again. Now, I'm going to go to the next page. If you still have room in your notebook, you can absolutely just keep writing on that same page. We had Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg work at Longfellow, and they enjoy teaching together. We could ask the same question. Who is they? Well, they are Mr. Morse and Miss Vredenberg. Okay, so sixth graders, we're still going to be talking about pronouns, but now we're adding another word, and it's called an antecedent. So we are focusing now on pronouns and antecedents. You can just keep writing on your same pronoun page because all of this does have to do with pronouns. I'm just going to write on top here pronouns and antecedents. Pronouns and antecedents. I have two definitions here. The first, or two explanations here. The first one is a pronoun only makes sense if you know which noun it replaces. A pronoun only makes sense if you know which noun it replaces. Well, sixth graders, that noun that we're talking about, meaning the noun that the pronoun is replacing, is called an antecedent. So the noun that the pronoun refers to is called the antecedent. The antecedent. The noun that the pronoun refers to is called the antecedent. So, here is the example. The example with this is Billy is a puppy. So she has a lot of energy. Billy is a puppy, so she has a lot of energy. This was our example on the other page. So what we are looking at here is we have a pronoun. The pronoun is she, because in our example on the last page, we originally had Billy is a puppy, so Billy has a lot of energy. Well, rather than repeating Billy over and over again, we replaced the name Billy with she. So the one thing about pronouns is we have to know who is she. Who are we referring to? Who are we talking about? Well, sixth graders, we are talking about Billy. So Billy is the noun that the pronoun refers to. So Billy in this case is the antecedent. Billy is the antecedent. Okay? So Billy, antecedent. She is the pronoun. Who are we talking about? Who is she? Well, she is Billy. So the noun that the pronoun is referring to is called the antecedent. Who is she? Billy. Just like on this, Mr. Morsch and Miss Friedenberg are the antecedents in that sentence. Now, sixth graders, there is something called a vague pronoun. A vague pronoun. If you don't know what the word vague means not clear. Meaning something isn't very clear. It's not clearly stated or something. Vague means not clear. There can be vague pronouns. So, for example here, for a vague a vague pronoun, we have an example that says, when Miss Vredenberg and Miss Zaya finally landed she breathed a sigh of relief. So, here's my example of a vague or not clear pronoun. What I mean by that is we have this sentence. When Miss Vredenberg and Miss Zaya finally landed, she breathed a sigh of relief. Now, we have nouns here, Miss Vredenberg, Miss Zaya. We have a pronoun here, she, but who is she? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Miss Vredenberg or Miss Zaya? If they both sighed a breath of relief, then we would say they sighed a breath of relief. However, in this case, we don't know who she is. That means that this is a vague pronoun, meaning it is not clear. So this is where that big question comes in. Who is she? Is it Miss Zaya or is it Miss Friedenberg? This is something that will be brought up in your IXLs this week. One of your IXLs has to do with this. So just keep that in mind. Just ask yourself, find the pronoun and ask yourself, who is she? Who is he? Who are they? What are they talking about in this sentence? All right, my next slide here, sixth graders, is going to be an extra special little hint sheet for you this week. This next slide will help you tremendously on your IXLs. All right, sixth graders, as I said, this next slide here, this will help you tremendously on your IXLs this week. So no matter what you get down today, make sure you write this down. This slide, I'm going to list all of the common pronouns, meaning these are the most used pronouns in the English language. These should help you tremendously on your IXLs this week. So we're just going to list some of the most common pronouns. The first one is I, then you, he, she, it, we, they, me, him, her, us, them, and finally, our. Sixth graders, these are the most common pronouns that we use in the English language. These pronouns will be used in this week's IXLs. My advice for you, and this is always my advice, the reason we take these notes is because these are meant to help you. Have these notes next to you. Have them sitting next to you to help remind yourself what are you looking for in terms of pronouns and antecedents. So after you finish this video and you write down all the notes, you must take a picture and upload the picture to Canvas. Once you are done with that, then you may spend the rest of the class time practicing the IXLs that are assigned. They are 6th grade level skills, and once you are done with those, just remember that they are due on Friday. So you have 1 week here to get the IXLs done, and you have the rest of class time to work on them. Also, don't forget to upload to Canvas your notes, everyone. I will see you soon. Bye. Miss you.